The reality about football is that certain clubs are only supposed to be stepping stones for certain players. They stay there too long and they outgrow the club. For example, Dortmund was only a stepping stone for Erling Haaland and he left just before he could outgrow them. But not many players have gotten their timing quite as right as the Norwegian. Here are 10 footballers who've outgrown their football clubs. You know, when we spoke about stepping stone clubs, Borussia Dortmund is the perfect example. We've seen them play that role in the careers of many superstar ballers. Dembele, Lewandowski, Aubameyang, Haaland, Pulisic, we could go on and on. Anyway, they're currently doing the same thing for Jude Bellingham, but we think the Englishman has now outgrown the club. He joined them in 2020 and right now it's pretty clear that he needs to move to a bigger club. Now, is that club going to be Liverpool, Man City or Real Madrid? We'll have to wait to find out. But whichever big club he joins, he has to join them this summer because he has outgrown Dortmund. His national team captain is another person in the same group as him. Harry Kane has long since outgrown Spurs and he needs to leave them ASAP. He has given everything to the club in his 19 years there and we think it's time to say goodbye. Harry Kane deserves to be at a club where he can compete for trophies season in, season out, and he really needs to move to one of those clubs this summer. Man United want him and we think Kane needs to really consider making that move right now because time is no longer on his side. Well, Man United also apparently want Victor Osimhen, and honestly, that's another guy who has outgrown his club. The Nigerian striker might end up as the best player and top scorer in Serie A this season, and he has the opportunity to move to a bigger European club in the summer after a fantastic season with Napoli. Actually, we'll be honest, if Napoli can continue in their current form, it would be a good idea to stay there, but considering Napoli are not a traditionally big European club, Osimhen might be better off going to one of those clubs now, seeing as they all want him. Still in Serie A, Rafael Leao is another guy who fits right into this category of footballers. Yes, AC Milan is traditionally a big club, but even in spite of their recent Serie A success, they're still not the club they used to be back in the 90s. So considering how good he is and how much he has matured over the years, we would say Leao has outgrown Milan. There are rumours that the likes of Chelsea and Barcelona are considering going in for him in the summer, and those would be more fitting options for the Portuguese forward. Speaking of Portuguese players, Ruben Neves has surely outgrown Wolves. He's one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe and at the prime of his career right now. We'd say Ruben Neves is too good to be embroiled in a relegation battle in the Premier League with Wolves. He should be competing in the Champions League instead. Another guy who definitely shouldn't be in a relegation battle right now is Declan Rice. That's another really good defensive midfielder in the prime of his career and shouldn't be playing for West Ham anymore. Rice has been a good servant for the London club for close to a decade now, but it's time to say goodbye, and that's whether they survive relegation or not. An easy move for him would be returning to his boyhood club of Chelsea, and even if he doesn't go down that road, the point here is that he has outgrown West Ham and he should be playing for a big club in Europe right now. Thinking about it, there's actually a lot of good players currently in relegation battles all over Europe. We even made a video about 10 of them that your favourite clubs could pick up this summer. Go check that one out. Anyway, James Maddison is another guy who has outgrown his current club. When he joined them in 2018, just 2 years after they became Premier League champions, he fit right in. But right now, with them fighting for survival in the Premier League, you have to say Maddison deserves better. Actually, to be fair, he should have left them last year or something. Another person who should have left years ago is Wilfried Zaha, and he was close once, but it just didn't happen. He's obviously outgrown Crystal Palace, but at this point, there's that fear that he might never leave for a bigger club anymore. It sort of feels too late for him. For one person it's surely not too late for is Ivan Toney. The English striker is having the time of his life this season. He only came to the Premier League with Brentford 2 years ago, and now he's actively making a push for the Premier League Golden Boot. Brentford themselves are not doing too bad this season, but if the 27-year-old truly wants to reach his full potential, then he might need to join a bigger club. He's a fine striker with a very high ceiling, and he may just have outgrown Brentford. We'll now wrap up this video with the guy who very nearly broke the hearts of Argentinians and Messi lovers at the World Cup final last year. Kolo Muani announced himself in Qatar and proved that he's such a solid player. With the World Cup he had alone, Kolo proved that he has outgrown Eintracht Frankfurt and should be playing for a bigger club. Hopefully he gets that move that he deserves this summer.